Marcus Johnson woke up early on Saturday morning. The sun was just coming up. He put on his running shoes and went for his usual 5-mile jog around the neighborhood. Marcus lived in a big house in the nice part of town. He had worked hard for everything he had. After his run, Marcus took a shower and got dressed in comfortable clothes. He wore blue jeans and a plain black t-shirt, no fancy watch, no expensive jewelry. Today, he just wanted to be normal. What should I get Emma for her birthday? Marcus asked himself as he drove his car. His daughter was turning 19 next week. She was in her first year of college, studying to become a computer engineer, just like her dad. Marcus smiled with pride. Emma was smart and hardworking. She needed a good laptop for her school projects. Marcus decided he would buy her the best one on the market. He turned into the parking lot of Lux Electronics. The big blue and silver sign shined in the morning sun. Marcus felt a small thrill, like he always did when he saw that sign. 15 years ago, Lux Electronics was just a dream. Now it had stores in every major city. This store was the first one he had opened, the flagship store. Marcus had built his company from nothing. He started by fixing computers in his garage. Now he was the CEO of a billion-dollar company. Marcus parked his car and walked toward the store. He didn't come to the stores often. He was usually too busy in the main office, having meetings and making big decisions. But today he was just a dad, looking to buy a gift for his daughter. The store was busy. People were everywhere, looking at phones, computers, and other gadgets. Music played softly through the speakers. The lights were bright, and everything looked clean and professional. Nobody recognized Marcus. That was fine with him. He had always stayed out of the spotlight. His picture wasn't on the company website. He didn't do TV interviews. Marcus believed the products should be famous, not him. He walked to the laptop section. There were many different models on display. Marcus knew exactly what Emma needed. She had told him about the special programs she used for her engineering classes. Those programs needed a powerful computer. Marcus found what he was looking for, the newest model with the best graphics card and lots of memory. It was perfect. He looked around for someone to help him. That's when Marcus noticed something strange. There were 5 employees on the floor. They'd all seemed to be watching him. But when he looked at them, they quickly looked away. No one came to help him. "Excuse me," Marcus said to a young man wearing the blue Lux Electronics shirt. The name tag said Tyler. Tyler looked nervous. Yes, sir. Can I help you?" "I'd like to buy this laptop," Marcus said, pointing to the one he had chosen. Tyler looked at the laptop, then at Marcus, then around the store. Let me just. I need to check something with my manager. Wait here, please." Marcus stood by the laptop display, feeling confused. Why did the employee need to check with a manager? It was a simple sale. A few minutes passed. Marcus saw Tyler talking to an older man near the front of the store. They both kept looking over at him. The older man had a serious look on his face. He straightened his tie and walked toward Marcus. "Good morning, sir," the man said. His voice was cold. His name tag read Richard Wilson, store manager. "Morning," Marcus replied. "I'd like to purchase this laptop." Richard didn't smile. "I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave the store." Marcus was shocked. "Excuse me. We've had some issues with shoplifting recently," Richard said loudly. "You've been wandering around the store for some time. Several staff members have reported suspicious behavior. People nearby started to stare. Some took out their phones and began recording." Marcus felt his face grow hot with embarrassment and anger. "Suspicious behavior?" Marcus asked. "I was looking at laptops for my daughter." "Sir, I'm going to have to insist," Richard said. "Please leave now, or I'll call security." Marcus stood very still. He could not believe what was happening. People all around the store were watching now. Some looked away when he glanced at them. Others stared openly. "There must be some mistake," Marcus said calmly. He tried to keep his voice steady. "I'm just a customer looking to buy a laptop." Richard, the manager, crossed his arms. "Sir, I've been doing this job for 12 years. I know suspicious behavior when I see it. What exactly was suspicious about me looking at laptops?" Marcus asked. He felt a mix of anger and sadness in his chest. "You've been walking around too long without buying anything," Richard said, "and you keep looking at our most expensive items." A woman shopping nearby shook her head and walked away. She looked disgusted, but Marcus wasn't sure if it was at him or at the manager. "I was taking my time to choose the right laptop for my daughter," Marcus explained. "That's not a crime." Richard stepped closer. "Look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is you leave now. The hard way is I call security and maybe even the police." Marcus took a deep breath. In his 15 years of building this business, he had faced racism before, but never in his own store. Never in the place he had created with his own hands. "I'd like to speak to someone above you," Marcus said. Richard laughed. "I'm the highest authority in this store. There's no one else to talk to." Marcus thought for a moment. He could just leave. He could avoid the scene that was building. He could buy Emma's laptop somewhere else. But something inside him said no. This was wrong. And it was happening in his own company. "Actually," Marcus said, "there is someone above you." He reached into his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. From it, he took a small card. It was his company ID card. It had his picture, his name, and his title. Marcus Johnson, CEO and founder. "I think you should look at this," Marcus said, handing the card to Richard. Richard's face changed as he read the card. First confusion, then shock, then fear. His mouth opened, but no words came out. "That's right," Marcus said. "This is my company. I built it from nothing. And now I can't even shop in my own store without being treated like a criminal." Richard's face turned red. He tried to speak, but only stammers came out. "Mr. Johnson, I didn't." By now, everyone nearby was watching. One of the other employees, a young woman, came closer. She looked at the ID card in Richard's hand. Her eyes went wide. "Oh my goodness, Mr. Johnson, I'm so sorry," she said. "I've seen your picture in the company newsletter." Marcus nodded at her. Then he turned back to Richard, who was now sweating heavily. "Richard, I'd like to go to your office now," Marcus said. His voice was firm but quiet. "And I'd like you to call Sarah Chen, the district manager." Richard nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. Right away, sir." As they walked to the back of the store, Marcus heard whispers all around. Employees were telling customers who he was. Some people were still recording with their phones. In Richard's small office, Marcus sat down in a chair. Richard stood by the door, looking like he might run away at any moment. "Call Sarah now, please," Marcus said. Richard picked up the phone with shaking hands. He dialed a number and waited. "Hello, Sarah. This is Richard at the downtown store. There's someone. You need to come right away. It's Mr. Johnson." "Yes, the Mr. Johnson." Marcus could hear Sarah's surprised voice through the phone. Richard explained that the CEO was in his office and needed to see her immediately. "She'll be here in 15 minutes, Richard said after hanging up. "Mr. Johnson, I want to explain." Marcus held up his hand. "Save it for when Sarah gets here. I want to hear your explanation for why you threatened to call security on the person who signs your paychecks." The office was quiet. Richard stood by the wall, looking at the floor. Marcus sat in the chair, thinking about what had just happened. This store was the first one Marcus had ever opened. He remembered the day they had cut the ribbon. He had been so proud. He had promised that day that his stores would be places where everyone was welcome. Everyone would be treated with respect. Now, here he was, being treated like a thief in his own store, all because of the color of his skin. The door opened. Sarah Chen walked in quickly. She was wearing casual clothes. It was her day off, but she had come right away when she got the call. "Marcus, what's going on?" Sarah asked. She had worked for Lux Electronics for 10 years. She knew Marcus well. "Hello, Sarah," Marcus said. "I came in today to buy a laptop for Emma's birthday, but instead I was asked to leave the store. Mr. Wilson here said I was acting suspicious." Sarah looked at Richard with wide eyes. "You did what?" Richard's face was pale now. "I didn't know who he was, Ms. Chen. He wasn't dressed like a CEO. He was just walking around the store for a long time." "So you thought he was stealing?" Sarah asked. Her voice was sharp. "We've had theft problems recently," Richard tried to explain, "and he was looking at our most expensive items." "Did you see him steal anything?" Sarah asked. "Well, no, but..." "Did he threaten anyone?" "No, but..." "Was he bothering other customers?" "No, but..." Sarah held up her hand to stop him. "Richard, we have a very clear policy about customer treatment. We never accuse someone of anything without proof, and we certainly don't judge people based on how they look or what they wear." Richard looked down at his shoes. "I was just trying to protect the store." Marcus stood up. "From what, Richard?" "From me. A man looking to buy a birthday gift for his daughter." Richard had no answer. "Tell me honestly," Marcus said. "If I had been white, would you have asked me to leave the store?" The room was silent. Richard's silence was the only answer Marcus needed. "That's what I thought," Marcus said quietly. Sarah looked angry now. "Richard, please wait outside. I need to speak with Mr. Johnson alone." After Richard left, Sarah turned to Marcus. "I am so sorry this happened to you. I had no idea Richard would do something like this." "Has this happened to other customers?" Marcus asked. Sarah thought for a moment. "We've had a few complaints. Nothing serious. But now I wonder if we missed something bigger." Marcus nodded. He walked to the window that looked out onto the store floor. Employees were working, customers were shopping. Everything looked normal. But now Marcus wondered what happened when he wasn't there. "How many black employees work in this store?" Marcus asked. 3, I think," Sarah said. "Out of 25 total. And in management positions." "Just one assistant manager," Sarah admitted. Marcus turned back to face her. "We need to do better, Sarah. Much better." Sarah nodded. "I agree. What do you want to do about Richard?" Marcus thought for a moment. Part of him wanted to give Richard another chance. People could learn from their mistakes. But another part of him knew that sending that message would be wrong. "We have a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination," Marcus said. "It's in the employee handbook that everyone signs." Richard knew the rules. "So you want to fire him?" Sarah asked. "Yes," Marcus said firmly. "But first, I want to talk to him. And then I want to speak to all the employees." Sarah picked up the phone on the desk. "I'll tell everyone to gather in the break room in 30 minutes, and I'll send Richard back in." After she left, Marcus sat down again. This wasn't how he had planned to spend his Saturday. But maybe it was important that he was here today. Maybe it was time for some changes at Lux Electronics. The door opened and Richard walked back in. He looked nervous. His hands were shaking a little as he stood in front of Marcus. "Sit down, Richard," Marcus said, pointing to the chair across from him. Richard sat down. He couldn't look Marcus in the eyes. "I've worked hard my whole life," Marcus began. "I grew up poor. My mom worked 2 jobs to take care of me and my sisters. I studied hard in school. I got scholarships for college." Richard nodded but still didn't look up. "After college, I started fixing computers in my garage," Marcus continued. "I saved every penny. I worked 18 hours a day, every day. That's how Lux Electronics began." Now Richard looked up. "Your story is amazing, Mr. Johnson. You've built an incredible company." "And do you know what was the hardest part?" Marcus asked. Richard shook his head. "The hardest part wasn't the long hours. It wasn't the risk of failing. It was dealing with people who judged me before they knew me. People who looked at my skin and decided I didn't belong. Richard's face turned red with shame. People like you, Richard, Marcus said quietly. Mr. Johnson, I swear I'm not racist, Richard said quickly. Some of my best friends are. Marcus held up his hand. Stop. Don't say it. What you did today was textbook racial profiling. You saw a black man looking at expensive items and immediately thought thief. Richard couldn't argue with that. The worst part is that this happened in my own store, Marcus said. In the company I built. That means I've failed somewhere as a leader. No, sir, Richard said. This is on me, not you. It's on both of us, Marcus replied. You made a terrible choice today, but I'm responsible for the culture of this company. If this is happening here, it might be happening in all our stores. Richard looked worried. Are you going to close the store? No, Marcus said. But I am going to make some changes, big changes. Am I? Am I fired? Richard asked in a small voice. Marcus looked at the man across from him. Richard had worked for the company for 8 years. He had always had good performance reviews. But what he did today was serious. It was harmful. It was against everything the company stood for. Yes, Richard. You're fired, Marcus said firmly. We have a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination. You know that. It's in our handbook. Richard looked like he might cry. But Mr. Johnson, I have a family. A mortgage. Please give me another chance. I'm sorry, Marcus said. But actions have consequences. What if I had been just a regular customer? I would have been humiliated. I might have told my friends never to shop here. I might have posted about it online. Your actions today could have hurt this company badly. Richard nodded slowly. He knew Marcus was right. You need to clean out your desk, Marcus said. Sarah will walk you through the exit process. Richard stood up. I'm truly sorry, Mr. Johnson. I made a terrible mistake. I hope you learn from it, Marcus said. And I hope your next job is one where you treat everyone with respect, no matter what they look like. After Richard left, Marcus sat alone for a few minutes. He felt tired. Shopping for a laptop shouldn't be this hard. Being black in America shouldn't be this hard. There was a knock on the door. Sarah came in. Everyone's waiting in the break room, she said. Are you ready? Marcus nodded and stood up. Yes, it's time to address this head-on. They walked together down the hallway to the break room. Marcus could hear the nervous chatter of employees. They knew something big had happened, but most didn't know what. As Marcus entered the room, everyone fell silent. About 20 employees were there, sitting and standing around the small break room. Some looked confused. Others looked worried. A few looked guilty. Marcus took a deep breath. What he said next would change the future of his company. He had to get it right. Marcus stood in front of the employees. They all watched him with wide eyes. Some of them had never seen the CEO in person before. Good morning, everyone, Marcus began. My name is Marcus Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Lux Electronics. He paused to let that sink in. A few employees whispered to each other. I came to this store today as a customer. I wanted to buy a birthday gift for my daughter, but something happened that should never happen in any store, especially not in mine. Marcus told them the whole story, how he had looked at laptops, how Richard had asked him to leave, how Richard had threatened to call security on him. Richard is no longer with the company, Marcus said. We have a strict policy against discrimination of any kind. Tyler, the young employee who had first helped Marcus, raised his hand nervously. Yes, Marcus said. Sir, I'm so sorry, Tyler said. His voice was shaking. I knew something was wrong when Richard told me to watch you, but I didn't say anything. I was afraid of losing my job. Marcus nodded. I understand being afraid, but we all need to be brave enough to do what's right, even when it's hard. Another employee, an older woman, spoke up. Mr. Johnson, This isn't the first time Richard has done something like this. The room got very quiet. Tell me more, Marcus said. He often told us to follow certain customers around the store, she said. Always young black men or Hispanic teenagers, never white customers. Marcus felt a pain in his chest. This was worse than he thought. Has anyone reported this before? He asked. A few people looked down at their feet. No one had reported it. I see, Marcus said. So this has been happening for some time. And no one said anything. A young black employee in the back raised his hand. Sir, I tried to say something once. Richard said I was being too sensitive. He said it was just good business to watch certain customers more closely. Marcus shook his head. That's not good business. That's discrimination. And it stops today. Marcus walked around the room, looking at each employee. I built this company with a simple idea, he said. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves good service. Not just rich people. Not just white people. Everyone. The employees were listening closely now. Starting today, things will change, Marcus continued. We're going to have new training for everyone. We're going to talk about unconscious bias. We're going to learn how to treat all customers with the same level of respect. Sarah nodded in agreement. And we're going to create a new way for employees to report problems, Marcus added. You will be able to report directly to the main office if you see discrimination happening. No one will punish you for speaking up. The black employee who had spoken earlier looked relieved. I'm disappointed by what happened today, Marcus said honestly. But I'm also hopeful. This can be a turning point for our company. We can learn from this mistake and become better. An employee in the front raised her hand. Mr. Johnson, what can we do right now to help? Marcus thought for a moment. Be honest. Tell me about other problems you've seen. And think about what would make this a better place to work for everyone. For the next hour, Marcus listened as employees shared their experiences. Some had seen customers being treated badly because of their race. Others had felt uncomfortable with Richard's leadership style. A few admitted they had been too scared to speak up. As Marcus listened, he took notes. This was painful to hear, but it was necessary. He couldn't fix problems he didn't know about. Thank you all for your honesty, Marcus said when they were done. This isn't the end of the conversation. It's just the beginning. The employees looked at him with new respect. They could see that he truly cared. Now, Marcus said with a small smile, I still need to buy that laptop for my daughter. Everyone laughed, and the tension in the room eased a little. Tyler, Marcus called to the young employee. Would you help me with that purchase now? Tyler smiled and nodded. Yes, sir. It would be my honor. Tyler led Marcus back to the laptop section. The store felt different now. Employees smiled at Marcus as he passed. Customers were watching too. Some had seen what happened earlier. This is the one you were looking at, right? Tyler asked, pointing to a sleek silver laptop. Yes, Marcus said. My daughter Emma is studying computer engineering. She needs something powerful for her programs. Tyler nodded. This is our best model. It has the fastest processor and the most memory. Perfect for engineering students. As Tyler rang up the purchase, Marcus noticed a young black teenager looking at phones nearby. An employee was following him closely, watching his every move. Excuse me for a moment, Marcus said to Tyler. He walked over to the employee who was following the teenager. Her name tag said Jessica. Hello, Jessica, Marcus said. Can I speak with you for a moment? Jessica looked surprised. Yes, Mr. Johnson. They stepped away from the teenager, who continued to look at phones. Why are you following that young man? Marcus asked quietly. Jessica's face turned red. Well, Richard always told us to keep an eye on certain customers. You mean black customers, Marcus said. Jessica looked at the floor. Yes, sir. That policy ends right now, Marcus said firmly. Unless you see someone actually trying to steal something, you treat all customers the same. Understand? Yes, sir, Jessica said. I'm sorry. Don't apologize to me, Marcus said. Go apologize to that young man, and then ask if he needs help finding anything. Jessica nodded and walked back to the teenager. Marcus watched as she spoke to him. The boy looked surprised, then smiled. Soon Jessica was showing him different phone models, treating him like any other customer. Marcus returned to Tyler, who had finished ringing up the laptop. That will be $1,899.99, Tyler said. Marcus handed over his credit card. As Tyler processed the payment, Marcus looked around the store. He saw things he hadn't noticed before, like how the security cameras were pointed at certain sections, or how the expensive items were kept far from the entrance. These were normal security measures, but they showed that Marcus had been thinking about theft all along. He just hadn't considered how these policies might affect different customers. Here you go, Mr. Johnson, Tyler said, handing over a bag with a laptop. And I added a protective case for free. It's the least we can do after what happened. Thank you, Tyler, Marcus said. But you don't need to give anything away. Just treat every customer with respect. That's all I ask. Tyler nodded. I will, sir. I promise. As Marcus turned to leave, he saw Sarah talking to a group of employees. She was already starting to implement changes. Good. Near the door, Marcus noticed the woman who had been shopping earlier when Richard confronted him. She was at the checkout counter now. Excuse me, Marcus said, approaching her. I wanted to thank you. The woman looked confused. For what? I saw your face earlier when the manager was accusing me, Marcus explained. You looked disgusted by how I was being treated. That meant something to me. The woman shook her head. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was so wrong. Many people would just look away, Marcus said. You didn't. I try to speak up when I see injustice, she said, even in small ways. Marcus smiled. That's how change happens, one person at a time. As Marcus walked to his car, he thought about everything that had happened that day. What started as a simple shopping trip had turned into something much bigger. His phone rang. It was Emma. Hey, Dad, she said. Did you find a laptop for me? I did, Marcus said. But I also found something else that needed fixing. What do you mean? Emma asked. It's a long story, Marcus said. I'll tell you tonight at dinner. But the short version is that even after all these years, there's still work to be done. At the company? Emma asked. At the company, Marcus agreed. And everywhere else too. Monday morning came quickly. Marcus sat in his large office at Lux Electronics headquarters. The view of the city from his window was beautiful, but he wasn't looking at it today. He was focused on his computer screen. The story of what happened on Saturday had spread fast. Someone had recorded the whole thing on their phone. The video was now all over the internet. Millions of people had seen Marcus being treated badly in his own store. They had also seen him fire Richard on the spot. Marcus's phone had been ringing nonstop. News reporters wanted to talk to him. Other business owners wanted to hear his story, and customers were calling too. Some to support him, others to complain. There was a knock on his office door. Come in, Marcus called. Sarah Chen walked in with Lisa Morgan, the head of human resources. They both looked worried. Good morning, Marcus said. I'm guessing you've seen the video. Everyone has seen it, Lisa said. It's on all the social media sites. News channels are talking about it too. Marcus nodded. What are people saying? Most people support you, Sarah said. They think you did the right thing by firing Richard. But some people are asking why this happened in your company in the first place. That's a fair question, Marcus admitted. One I've been asking myself all weekend. Lisa opened her laptop. We need to make a public statement. People are waiting to hear from you. I've been working on something, Marcus said. He turned his computer screen so they could see what he had written. Sarah read it out loud. At Lux Electronics, we believe in treating everyone with respect and dignity. What happened in our store on Saturday was unacceptable and against everything we stand for. We have fired the manager involved and are taking immediate steps to ensure this never happens again. It's a good start, Lisa said. But people want to know what those immediate steps are. Marcus smiled. I've been thinking about that all weekend too. I have some ideas. For the next hour, the three of them talked about changes for the company. Marcus wanted new training for all employees about treating customers fairly. He wanted to hire more diverse managers. And he wanted a new system for reporting problems. These are big changes, Sarah said. They will cost a lot of money. They're worth it, Marcus said firmly. This company was built on respect. I won't let that change. Just then, Marcus's assistant poked her head in the door. Sorry to interrupt, but Emma is here to see you. Marcus looked surprised. Send her in. Emma Johnson walked into the office. She was tall like her father, with the same determined look in her eyes. She was wearing her college sweatshirt and carrying the new laptop Marcus had bought her. Emma, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in class? Marcus asked, standing to hug his daughter. I saw the video, Dad, Emma said. Everyone at school is talking about it. I had to come see you. Marcus introduced Emma to Sarah and Lisa. Then Emma sat down next to her father. Are you okay? She asked him. I'm fine, Marcus assured her. It wasn't the first time something like that has happened to me. But it happened in your own store, Emma said. Her voice was angry. That's not right. No, it's not, Marcus agreed. And that's why we're making changes. Emma looked at the notes on her father's desk. What kind of changes? Better training. More diverse hiring. New reporting systems, Marcus explained. But I feel like we need to do more. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she said, what about a scholarship program? Everyone looked at her. What do you mean? Lisa asked. A scholarship for Black students studying technology, Emma explained, to help create more diversity in the industry. More people who look like Dad and me. Marcus smiled proudly at his daughter. That's a brilliant idea, Emma. We could call it the Respect Tech Scholarship, Emma continued. It could pay for college for students who can't afford it. Sarah was already taking notes. We could start with 10 scholarships a year. Maybe grow it over time. I love it, Marcus said. Let's add it to the plan. For the first time since Saturday, Marcus felt truly hopeful. What had started as a painful experience was turning into something positive, something that could help many people. What do you think, Dad? Emma asked. Will it make a difference? Marcus put his arm around his daughter's shoulders. Every positive change makes a difference, Emma. Even the small ones. But this isn't small. This could change lives. 1 month later, Marcus stood on a small stage in the largest Lux electronics store. Cameras flashed as reporters took pictures. About 50 people were gathered to hear him speak. Thank you all for coming today, Marcus began. 1 month ago, something happened in one of our stores that changed the way we do business. The crowd was quiet, listening closely. I was denied service in my own store because of the color of my skin, Marcus said honestly. It was a painful experience, but it opened my eyes to problems we needed to fix. In the front row, Emma smiled at her father. Next to her sat Sarah Chen and the new manager of the store, Michael Davis. Michael was a young Black man who had worked for the company for 5 years. He had been an assistant manager at another location before his promotion. Today, I'm proud to announce several new programs at Lux Electronics, Marcus continued. First, all of our employees have completed new training on treating customers fairly and with respect. People in the crowd nodded approvingly. Second, we have created a new system for reporting problems. Employees and customers can now report any unfair treatment directly to our main office. These reports go straight to our new diversity and inclusion team. Marcus pointed to a woman standing near the stage. Lisa Morgan is the head of this team. They will make sure that everyone who enters our stores is treated with dignity. Lisa waved to the crowd. Third, we have changed our hiring practices. We are working hard to make sure our staff and management team reflects the diversity of the communities we serve. The reporters were writing everything down. This was big news in the business world. And finally, Marcus said with a smile, "I'm most proud to announce the Respect Tech Scholarship Program." Emma stood up. Marcus motioned for her to join him on stage. "This program was my daughter Emma's idea," Marcus explained. "Each year, we will provide full college scholarships to 20 students from underrepresented groups who want to study technology. These students will also have summer jobs at Lux Electronics and mentoring from our team." The crowd clapped loudly. This was the biggest announcement of all. "The first scholarships will be awarded next fall," Emma added. "Applications open next month." After the announcement, reporters asked many questions. They wanted to know more about what had happened that day and about the new programs. Marcus answered honestly, not hiding anything. One reporter asked, "Have you spoken to Richard Wilson since you fired him?" Marcus nodded. "Yes, I have. Richard called me to apologize. He said he's learned from his mistake. He's now working with a nonprofit organization that teaches about bias and discrimination." Another reporter asked, "Do you think one incident can really change a whole company?" "Sometimes it takes one clear moment to see problems that were there all along," Marcus replied. "What happened to me happens to people of color every day. The difference is, I was in a position to do something about it." After the press conference, Marcus, Emma, Sarah, and Michael walked through the store. It looked different now. The staff was more diverse. New signs told customers about the company's commitment to fair treatment. And the security cameras were positioned to watch the merchandise, not target certain customers. "What do you think?" Marcus asked Michael. "Is it working?" Michael nodded. "Sales are up, customer complaints are down, and the team seems happier." "And what about you?" Marcus asked. "How does it feel to be the manager?" Michael smiled. "It feels good. When I started here, I never thought I could become a manager. Now I'm thinking maybe I could be a district manager someday, or even more." "You can be anything you work for," Marcus said. "That's what I want everyone to know. That's what this whole thing has been about." As they walked, a young black woman approached them. "Excuse me, are you Marcus Johnson?" "Yes, I am," Marcus replied. "I just wanted to say thank you," she said. "I saw what happened to you on the video. And I saw what you did about it. It matters. It really does." Marcus shook her hand. "Thank you for saying that. It means a lot to hear it." 1 year later, Marcus sat in the auditorium of City University. The room was filled with proud families and excited students. On stage, 20 young people in nice clothes waited nervously. Today was the first award ceremony for the Respect Tech Scholarship Program. 20 students were about to receive full scholarships to study technology in college. They would also get summer jobs at Lux Electronics and personal mentors. Emma sat next to her father. She had graduated from college 3 months ago with a degree in computer engineering. Now she worked at Lux Electronics, helping to run the scholarship program she had created. "Are you nervous?" Marcus asked her. Emma smiled. "A little. I want everything to be perfect." "It already is perfect," Marcus said. "Look at those students. You changed their lives." On stage, the students were talking quietly with each other. They came from different backgrounds. Some were black, some Hispanic, some Asian. Some came from poor neighborhoods. Others were the first in their families to go to college. All of them loved technology and wanted to work in the field. The university president walked to the microphone. "Welcome, everyone, to the first annual Respect Tech Scholarship Awards. We are honored to partner with Lux Electronics on this important program." The crowd clapped. "Before we present the scholarships, I'd like to invite Marcus Johnson, CEO of Lux Electronics, to say a few words." Marcus walked up to the stage. He looked out at the sea of faces. So much had changed in 1 year. "Thank you," he began. 1 year ago, something happened that made me rethink how my company operated. I experienced discrimination in my own store. It was a painful moment, but it led to something beautiful. Marcus pointed to the 20 students sitting behind him. These amazing young people are the future of technology. They are brilliant, creative, and determined. But many of them faced barriers to success. Barriers that had nothing to do with their abilities and everything to do with unfair systems. The room was very quiet as everyone listened. The Respect Tech Scholarship is about breaking down those barriers. It's about making sure that talent and hard work are what matter in our industry, not the color of your skin or how much money your parents have. Marcus looked at Emma. She was smiling proudly. I want to thank my daughter Emma for coming up with this idea. Sometimes it takes a new generation to see better solutions to old problems. Emma blushed as people turned to look at her. This scholarship program is just the beginning, Marcus continued. In the past year, Lux Electronics has changed in many ways. Our stores have more diverse staff now. Our management team looks different too. And our company culture is stronger than ever. Marcus paused for a moment. Then he said, I also want to thank the person who isn't here today. The store manager who denied me service that day. Without that painful moment, none of these positive changes would have happened. Some people in the audience looked surprised. Sometimes, the worst experiences can lead to the best changes. What matters is what you do after the bad thing happens. Do you get angry and give up? Or do you work to make things better? Marcus turned to the scholarship winners sitting behind him. These students chose to work for a better future. And now, it's my honor to present them with the very first Respect Tech scholarships. One by one, the students came forward to receive their awards. Each one shook Marcus's hand and smiled for pictures. Their families cheered loudly. The last student was a young black woman named Jasmine. As Marcus handed her the scholarship certificate, she said quietly, My brother was in your store that day. He saw what happened. He saw what you did about it. That's why I applied for this scholarship. You showed me that one person can make real change. Marcus smiled at her. Welcome to the Lux Electronics family, Jasmine. I can't wait to see what you accomplish. As Marcus returned to his seat, Emma squeezed his hand. Dad, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of us, Marcus replied. It takes all of us working together to make the world better. One store, one company, one scholarship at a time.